When the first ever film was screened in the 1890s, it was of an oncoming locomotive, and people were so terrified they fell out of their seats in fear. We're not much better now at dealing with bleeding-edge technologies that come barreling toward us at full speed. In our digital age, there's a similarly terrifying picture of artificial intelligence that haunts all of us. It goes like this. Computers are going to become so complex and so super intelligent. Any day now, they're going to surpass us in intelligence, become self-aware, develop feelings and intentions of their own, and then either enslave or kill all of humankind. Yeah. Maybe we respond so viscerally to this idea because we believe our intelligence is what separates us from the animals. So it would be very uncomfortable to think that we would be out-intelligenced at our own intelligence games. We're now living through a radical shift, where before economic power was centered on machines and mass production, it's now centered on software. And that radical shift has profound consequences for the political stage, for social interaction, for our economic power, and certainly for our art. What does it mean that we now have bots that can generate poetry and music and paintings? There's a robot named Shimon that improvises music along with 3 human performers. Shimon tours all over the world and has an enviable career as a musician, more so than a lot of human musicians I know. What if I read a poem or look at a painting that I find expressive of some human moment in myself, only to realize it was generated by a bot? What does that do to me? Am I less real and less human and less vital? We know software can automate large swaths of repetitive tasks done by humans, but what if I'm not necessary even as a poet? Maybe computers are justified in just wiping us all out. Or maybe we're not understanding a new medium, or maybe we're not seeing a new medium for what it is. Machine learning, neural networks, artificial intelligence, algorithms are software. Instructions set to do something, reset, and then repeat. And software is a tool. When we make a hammer, we don't try to make the hammer resemble a human being. So it's intriguing that we've chosen to make software in our own image. Bots are a portrait of us. They model a narrow slice of human behavior in the same way that a photograph can be said to be a portrait of a person. And we don't ever worry that a photograph will be so realistic that we'd mistake it for a human. While we're overwhelmed because the poetry generated by a bot seems expressive, we miss the fact the bot is made by humans. The poems it generates are artifacts, but it's the bot itself that's the work of art. A piece of software we've created to act in our own image, a kind of puppet that performs for us. And it is the great new medium of our digital age. But, very crucially, we need to understand for every puppet, there's a puppet master. There's a human that directs that puppet to move and that gives it a semblance of life. If it seems strange and surprising to think of behavior as a work of art, we have a model for that in theater, where we might appreciate what a puppet or an actor says on stage and the costumes that they wear, but it's the entire performance that's the work of art. Initially, we took photographs of people, and later photography became more abstract, and we took photos of shadows, of water, the folds in a piece of cloth. And we already see bot behavior move toward abstraction, like drone sculptures, where a fleet of drones will fly in a synchronized pattern across the sky. The same technologies for mass production that created photography and seemed to make painting obsolete once accelerated, led to a completely new art form, which is film. For decades, people worried that film was a corrosive, profane entertainment for the masses, before it was recognized as the great art form of the 20th century, an art form by which, as the philosopher Walter Benjamin said, we can tell all of our mythologies. Eventually, our terror at the approach of artificial intelligence will seem quaint. New technologies are at the forefront of how humans make war and how we make art, which is why there's a danger in worrying about the wrong thing. There's a trick to getting a very young child to sit down when he refuses to. You say, "Julian, do you want to sit on my right side or on my left side?" Children fall for this because they're dazzled by the feeling of having a choice. In our digital age, autocrats and dictators don't need to oppress people directly. They just need to provide an illusion of choice. And it is much, much easier to create that illusion when the technologies that permeate every aspect of our lives seem mysterious, incomprehensible, smarter than us. Our freedoms depend on our ability to understand the full range of our choices, to see the illusion, to see the puppet master pulling the strings. Thank you.